We go racing. Luke Whitehead lights it up. The week Adam is going to take the green flag and send them all down to hell corner. But here we go. This is the action. We will side by side. A little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a clip of his teammate there. This is through the dipper, and that, I think, is one of the Genisus cars going straight into the wall. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2024. We trust you had a wonderful festive season and wonderful new year as well. But we are back. It's enough of the pleasantries because we are getting straight down to business. Genisus Risk Kaizen Championship, as if Season 1 wasn't just a brief memory a couple of weeks ago. We're back for Season 2, Round 1 here at Imola. David Christie here with you again, back with Tapelo Marioli. Tapelo, it feels like we barely got any time off, and here we are again, but my God, are we back with a bang.
Let me tell you something. The break was so short, and I'm not trying to joke around. If people could listen to the chats that we're having on the side about how short it was, that we were arguing when we were coming back, it feels like we never stopped. And it's great to be back. I'm looking forward to the season. Surprise, surprise. A lot more drivers this season. So it's about to be a very, very long season.
It really, really is. As we can see very shortly, we've got 12 rounds coming up. We can bring up here for you. Imola, Misano, Nürburgring, Paul Ricard, Watkins Glen, Kyalami, Kota, Bathurst, Spa, Brands Hatch, Valencia and Silverstone as well. Rounding out the season, taking you all the way through to March. And oh boy, is that going to be a busy, busy season. Some huge tracks that are out there, of course, mirroring that LFM calendar that's out there. You know, proving itself to be an absolutely perfect accompaniment / warm-up / you know, getting drivers into the mood for LFM while presenting its own challenge to Pelo.
Yeah, look, definitely. And we cannot emphasize this enough. This was the main point of Season 1. We've always said it. It's about getting guys set up. You know, they go through their setups in this series. They figure out what works, what doesn't work, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. So think of it like entertainment, but with preparation, because that's what it's all about. So they get themselves ready here to shine on a different stage. I love it because it's like, you know that thing you do where you're gonna run, but you kind of take a jog first to see if your body's up to running. This is what this championship is. It's the jog before the run.
It is. It's the warm-up event. That's what I like to see. The thing is, though, that was how we saw it for Season 1. I think now this is now its own separate event, given what we're about to talk about shortly, the stellar lineup that we have got here for Season 2. Some huge names, ladies and gentlemen, that we'll be talking about in just a minute. I honestly think this now stands on its own feet as a proper event now here for the Genisus Risk Kaizen Championship Season 2. One other thing, though, we have to get out of the way is hello to everybody out there in chat. Good evening to Regladon, to Montaigne Cillier, to Farida Adam, to Beamerstein, to Reginald McLeany. We've also got Mavilla, David Marioli, Wasim McLaren McGall, and everybody else that's out there in chat tonight, good evening to you. Get yourself involved in chat, because you guys have got a chance of winning something tonight and every single night that we are on the broadcast. We'll tell you more about that as the broadcast goes on. But here we are, as if straight into the action. Imola is where we are here tonight. One of the last questions that was asked here is, what do we reckon race pace will be here tonight? Well, I think we're already starting to see that. 139.7. Dear God, that is fast. I thought we were going to be looking about 141, 140, but yeah, that is a fast time in those Ferraris with 6.5 minutes left to go here. So let's actually talk about that, because obviously season 2 here, the names that we've got in this championship, Tapelo, is just sensational.
Look, it's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see the build-up. It's nice to see a lot of returning guys, but it's also nice to see a lot of the fresh names that we have this season. And of course, it's not just about the names, it's about what they bring to the championship. So many new guys means it's different opponents, it's different driving standards, it's different strengths, different weaknesses. It just adds so much more to the championship to have so many more people in it, not just from an entertainment perspective, but just to add on how you plan as a driver. I can assume, so many people, how do you work your way through traffic? Because now it's a different element. When you have so many drivers on circuit, traffic becomes a huge consideration in a race. Where do you position yourself? Where do you relax? Where do you push? We saw it a lot last season where some drivers would kind of hang back a bit, but that's going to be more difficult to do when you have so many drivers on circuit. So it's kind of testing the drivers, and dare I say us, because we are going to have a lot of slip-ups with names and having so much action to take care of. I think I need a second pair of eyes for this season, David.
That's okay. I've already got my usual bye as a commentator with mispronouncing names and absolutely butchering. However, great to see that a lot of the new names that are coming in here are names that I'm very, very familiar with. Certainly towards the end of last season and the start of this one. Mikhail Statsenko, though, is a name that I know all too well, and goddamn is that lad fast, proving exactly where he belongs, right at the top of the field there. Looks like Ferrari seems to be the new meta at the moment. Lambo's fallen off a cliff from what we're seeing here at Imola, but Mikhail Statsenko in pole position, George Boothby, then Grantas Caracas in third position, Noah Ader in fifth, Luke Whitehead in fifth, and then Valentin Barry in sixth position, Cody Sherritt currently in seventh, Kay in eighth position, Adam Spansky in ninth position, and then Philip Minar in 10th. So a whopping top 10 there, and I'm stunned that we've got, 7 drivers, maybe 6 drivers within that 139 mark. This is very, very fast pace out there, and qualifying is going to be, like we said it ad nauseum last season to Pello, and I say last season, it was only like 2 weeks ago that we were last here doing this. But last season, qualifying was really, really important, and yet now it is monumentally important. I had a look at the championship standings page and championship entry stage, and would you believe it, 53 drivers signed up for this and eligible to be taking the grid. That is a hell of a full looking track map on the right hand side there.
Yeah, look, and I think this is what people wanted for the Kyalami 9 hours. Sorry, controversial, but they wanted more cars, so we're giving them more cars this season. So many drivers, and you're right, qualifying becomes so much more important when there's a bigger grid like this. It's what we spoke about last season, how you start that race. So if you can start out in front, build your gap, kind of avoid the stress of 20, 30 other guys behind you, that just does a world of good. So qualifying is going to be important as we see 3 more minutes of the circuit, as we see an onboard for Grantas Caracas. Very difficult circuit, ladies and gentlemen. I actually drove the circuit this morning, and yeah, it's not easy. As we see heading down into turn 2, very tricky. You can go on the curbs if you've got your setup just right. It won't kill you. You just need to be sure on the traction going out of turn 4 as you head into turn 5, the Villeneuve chicane. Keep it right, go in, run the curbs again, brake mid-corner so you can set up turn 6, because it's very easy to run wide into the gravel. Turn 7, Tosa, very tricky because you need to get on the power early because it's uphill from the exit of 7 into turn 8 and turn 9. So it's all about getting that traction right mid-corner. As you can see, stick to the right as you turn into turn 9, Piratella. You can run wide, that's okay. Keep the 2 wheels on the side of the track as you head into turn 10. This is my favorite part of the circuit, Aqua Minerale 11, 12 and 13. Very tricky braking because you're braking downhill. You will see a lot of cars get squeamish on the rear as you get out there. So heading into turn 14 and 15, the key here is to abuse those curbs. You won't get a penalty. That's the quickest way. You need to launch your car over those curbs, ladies and gentlemen. Just be careful of the traction because sometimes if you do attack the curbs too much, it will catch you out. As you head down turn 16, turn 17 and 18, very tricky again, another downhill braking zone. Very easy to lose the rear here. Again, very crucial to get the exit out of turn 18 Ravata correct because it is all flatted down into turn 19 across the start finish line and as you start your second lap as well. So turn 18, very crucial to get that exit correct. You do want to run wide a bit, but that's how you do a quick lap around Imola.
Wow. Thank you very much for that, Tapello. Awesome walk around that lap here. And of course, we're seeing the times coming in thick and fast. 139.6 fastest lap for Mikhail Statsenko. But this man here, Adam Spansky for ITB Racing, up into second position. But there goes George Boothby across the line, 139.5. So he jumps into pole position. One driver that I did want to get an eye on here was, let's have a look here, Roland Stein, who was with us earlier on there, as I think we've got a little bit of a disconnect there. Surely that was someone sending it off into the background there. Yeah, Roland Stein, who's been on the wheel less than a week, came in towards the season, the latter stages of season 1, has been on the wheel for less than a week and is doing a 142.6. So he is, just about 3 seconds off the pace at the moment and improving rapidly. So an amazing improvement there with that wheel for Roland, and I'm pretty sure that by race 3 or race 4 we're going to see that car right up at the front. But qualifying for our first round of season 2 of the Genisus Risk Kaizen Championship coming to an end. George Boothby currently, and I do say currently, in pole position as we're watching Grantis Oscar coming out of Toka. Even Grantis though Caracas in 4th position at the moment. Luke Whitehead jumps up into P5. Noah Eder finishes in P6. You've got Marco Bischoff in P7. And again, it's just a case of waiting for all of these cars to make their way round and get themselves through this qualifying session. But Tapello, obviously one of the other things that we've got here is the new prize structure that we've got for the championship as well. It's now the top 5 drivers that get a prize in every single championship now. So it's $500 for the winner, $300 for second place, $200 for third place, $100 for fourth place, and $50 for 5th place in the championship. I mean, that over the course of the championship, that's a nice little bundle to go for.
For everyone who missed our last broadcast of the season last year, we said we're going to add more money because I need to get money from this championship. So I might be finishing top 5. I don't know how, but just keep your eyes out. But yes, another incentive for the drivers to race for. Top 5 getting a cash prize. Look, as if the learnings, the development wasn't enough, now there's more money on the table. So we will see a lot of drivers sticking around and trying to be more consistent to finish within that top 5.
That's exactly it. That is exactly what is at stake here. Bragging rights, as well as some tasty little cash prize at the end of the season, as well as 2 drivers will be picked at random from drivers that have completed at least 80% of the race to win a 1-month subscription to our partner brand new service, Coach Dave's Delta. So that is 2 drivers chosen at random from those who have completed 80%. Right, okay. 1 minute 30 to get through. 42 drivers. Challenge accepted. Round 1 here at Imola. Let's go. Row 1 then. George Boothby on pole position ahead of Mikhail Statsenko in second place. The two Ferraris lead off against Adam Spansky in row 2. Grandes Caracas in P4. Row 3 is going to be Luke Whitehead and Noah Eder. And then row 4 is going to be Cody Sherritt and Marco Bischoff. Philippe Minard and Tariq Adam is on row 5. And then row 6 in 11th place is Valentin Barrier. 12th place for Abe Santima. 13th place is Noel Heche and Luke Addison in 14th position. 15th is Sasha Vassner and Simone Simonara in 16th position. That is row 8. Row 9 is going to be Jordan Watson and Giovanni Porzio. Then it's the Honda of Marco Shari. Great to see a Honda back on the grid. Dennis Wietschork is in P20. Christian Deploy is in the Merc in 21st. Andrei Trafka in 22nd position. Albin Manson in 23rd. Christoph Muskowski in 24th position. Christian Fenter in 25th. And Ronaldo Beursma in 26th. 27th is Samir Foch. I was expecting to see that car a little bit further up in the grid. Timo Karppinen in 28th. 29th is Skylar Loverayak. Jimmy Holm, the homing missile in P30. God, I cannot wait to see him out there. Sarki Lernen is in 31st. Lois Regner in 32nd. 33rd is going to be Gabriel Oskar. And then David Hill in 34th position. Jonathan Clifford in 35th. Jason Pulley in 36th. Alexander Kuznetsov in 37th. And then on row 19, Nathan Smith-Adams rounds it out in 38th position. On row 20, Daniel Gottschalk is alongside Cristian Romano in 39th and 40th. And then on 41st position, Sitshaba Machigo making his debut towards the end of last season. And then it is Roland Stein in 42nd position. There we go, 42 cars. Tapello, I'm going to go and lie down for 10 seconds.
Yeah, look, I'm not next to you, but I was kind of prepping to catch you because I was waiting for the inevitable moment of running out of breath. But this is interesting because I just want to say to the viewers, because we saw this last year as well, a lot of the guys that started, say, lower in the first race, they picked up as the season went on. They kind of stayed true to the Kaizen principle of continuous development. So if you're seeing someone start 21st, 22nd, just keep track of their progress over the season. You'll slowly see them start to creep up. And we saw people starting in P15, P14, all of a sudden they're consistent top 5, top 6 finishes. So I love this championship simply because of that. No one stays where they start. They continuously improve and get faster and faster as the season goes up.
100%, and that is a lot of cars coming through Tulsa here ahead of a 60-minute race here tonight for the opening rounds of season 2, and we are absolutely all here for it. Very much looking forward to the racing. George Boothby in pole position with that Ferrari up front, Mikhail Statsenko. Now, one of the other things as well, remember we just said about the drivers, 2 of them will be chosen at random from the drivers that have completed at least 80% of the race to win a 1-month subscription to Coach Dave Delta, Coach Dave Academy's brand new coaching service. It is just an amazing bit of kit. If you haven't checked it out already, go and do it. It is pretty damn cool what they've actually been able to do. They'll win a 1-month subscription to that, but you at home can win that as well if you fancy getting involved in that. All you have to do is get involved in chat. Let us know who you are supporting. We will pick 2 chatters out at random and give you a subscription as well. So just get involved in chat. We'll do the rest of that, and we'll get that all sorted out. But Tapello, unfortunately, I've just been told that we aren't eligible.
Emmett, I was just about to get on chat and type that I'm excited to hear my own voice again. So sucks for me, but it's fine. It's fine. We have a lot of cars. We have an excellent racetrack in front of us. It's going to be an interesting race. Very, very interesting. I'm telling you now, it's going to be so difficult to keep track of everything that's going to happen. And turn 1, no, not turn 1, it's actually turn 2. I don't consider turn 1 a turn, it's more of a kink. But turn 2, Tamburello chicane, it's very tricky. So we might see a pinch point there. A lot tends to happen at Imola at turn 2 and turn 3.
Well, 8:30 in the heart of Bologna in Italy. The engines roar in the background. The sun begins to set, but the sun is about to rise. On season 2 of the Genisus Risk Kaizen Championship, George Boothby and Mikhail Statsenko leading, 42 cars around to go, and Statsenko immediately ducks down into the tail of Boothby, and it is absolute bedlam behind. You can see Adam Spansky decides to send it up there. Statsenko has been sent further down. Luke Whitehead tries to take advantage of that as well, but that was very, very opportunistic there from Adam Spansky to take that P2 already. Beautiful, beautiful move, and we are racing here at Imola. 60 minutes with a mandatory pit stop here, and this is Luke Whitehead away down in 5th position. Simone Seminara has dropped down to P17. The corkscrew effect is very, very real here as the cars twist and turn. They accelerate and break together almost like a chain, and this is some sight, and it's a hell of a job to be able to do this to Pello side by side with other drivers. And you know, even the fact they've done 6 corners here, that is a miracle that they've all survived.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount of composure not to tag someone on the side, because you've got cars all around. You've got cars in front, behind, to the right, to the left. You need compound eyes to be able to keep track of what's happening on circuit. So this is what the drivers this season will have to kind of prepare for, develop their skills around, just driving around traffic, driving with so many cars. And it's actually good to see that they've kind of started cleanly. I did see a bit of argy-bargy, but that is expected with a big grid. No crazy incident, but I'm sure the stewards will be looking at something, as they always do. But we've got a fairly comfortable start. Now we see that long train starting to develop as we start lap 2 of the 60-minute race, and George Boothby kind of bit of a comfortable lead there, half a second in front. But as we see, I think it's Spansky who's just looking for a move, can't make it stick. He just tucks in again as we go along.
Yep, Spansky back down to that 4th position then. Just saying that Ronaldo Bursma has had an incident. He's now at the back of the field there. He was come down from, was around about 21st position, and he has dropped all the way down just now. This is a replay of the race start then from the 555 car. So this is a little bit further down, and this is David Hill, and well, that is what happens when the cars all sort of corkscrew up and really compress themselves up there. And yeah, you hate to see it. 555 getting tagged round there, and we've also had the 778 coming into an issue there. That's Jimmy Holm. No, the homing missile, ladies and gentlemen. I'm devastated. We need to get a replay there of what on earth has happened to Jimmy Holm, as we see Andrew Chafka getting unceremoniously edged out of the circuit there. We've got more yellow flags going on there. I think that might have been David Gottschalk who has been involved in that. But oh, there we go. I'm happy to Pello. The first time in chat, I think season 2, that we've seen Oy vey used in chat. That's I'm happy.
We're starting with the keywords very early this season already. So we're seeing it already. I'm waiting for dive bomb in the chat. Someone just add dive bomb there. We want that as well very early this season. But yes, very interesting start. Again, very, very difficult to find your place in a grid like this. And the tricky thing, ladies and gentlemen, about the circuit is some of the corners are really unforgiving. If you go a bit offline, you will get yourself trapped in gravel, and it's very easy to spin yourself around. The traction zones are very tricky. So when it's full like this, it is a whole different bag of cats to drive around. As you can see how close these cars get to the edge of the circuit, just about to dip their wheels into the gravel. So it is a bit of a different skill to drive, as we see Tariq Adam in P9 finished the season very strongly last season. I think about the last 4 or 5 races, Tariq looked very strong. And one thing that I've noticed with him is his race pace kind of gets better as the race goes on. So he might be in a bit of traffic right now in the starts, as you see him defending from barrier there, but his race pace will improve the longer into the race he gets. So it will be interesting to see how high he can finish. But something for my best friend David Christie, a replay of his friend Jimmy
like
Holmes running a bit wide. you see what I was saying about the circuit. It's very easy to run wide here.
He was murdered. He was murdered. That's what's happened there. He was absolutely assaulted. I am just I demand vengeance for Jimmy Home on that one. I've got no idea what happened.
Someone homed in on the homing missile.
Ah!
That's what happened right there.
I'll give you that. It's only week 1, so yeah, I'll allow it. However, what I will say is, oh my God, look at the pace. What's happened to Boothby and Caracas? Where have they gone? Statsenko is 3.5 seconds off of the two leaders right now. This is insane pace that they've got right now.
And the question becomes, how long can they maintain? It seems like George Boothby is riding on the high of winning the championship last season, and he's just pushing that Ferrari for all it's worth. Will he maintain it? Difficult to judge very early in the season, but that's kind of how you want to set your season up and put a statement marker to everyone else.
100%, and you need to get that done early because you want to get that marker down nice and early to make sure that nobody else is going to be, or that as many people are taken out as quickly as possible as you can do. But 55 minutes left to go. That think that there's still far too long to be looking any further into that with this race so far here in season 2 of the Genisus Risk Kaizen Championship. Cannot believe we're already on to season 2. What a belter season 1 was, and it went all the way down to the wire. I'm wondering if that is exactly what we have got in store for us just now as well. So top 5 are who we need to be looking at through the entirety of the championship. But this is the driver you were talking about earlier, Tariq Adam. Now getting a little bit of support there from Beamerstein on the chat there, wanting to shout out for Christian Duploy and for Tariq Adam. And these Genesis esports drivers, you know, they're fairly obvious to spot there in their beautiful Genesis esports livery, that blue, white and red cam. It's almost like a swarm of them because there's at least about 8 to 10 of them in the field here tonight.
Yeah, and look, we've loved that livery for a season now, but you're right, those guys love each other so much, so it's great to see the support in the chat as we see Philip Bernard just holding his position as they go through the Tamburello chicane. But it seems like there is a message coming from race control. Incident between cars 25 and 65 on lap 1. 5-second time penalty for car 25 for causing a collision. The stewards have started 2024 really well, so let's keep it going. Oh, there's contact right there. As I shifted my eyes away from the screen.
Big hit there. We just caught at the tail end of that. So that's towards the tail end of the field there. That's a battle for P35 and 36. We've got another penalty coming in there. Renier in the 83. That was Dennis Feetshark in the 25 that got that original penalty there. But my goodness me, Roland Stein caught up in all of that as well. Great to see as well that Roland Stein, you know, keeping with that pack at the back of the field there, given that he is brand new to the wheel, less than a week old on that wheel, and yeah, he is very much loving it. 27th place though, Lois Renier is not loving the fact that he has got a 10-second time penalty, presumably for contact as well. We're going to find out here. 27 and 555. That's the home missile, isn't it? The 555. No, that's David Hill, excuse me, on lap 1. That was the first instant, and 27 getting a penalty there for causing a collision. Well, 27 is Giovanni Pozio, so he's down in 42, so that's not why that 27th place car got that penalty. Right, by the time we got that done, there we go, 83 and 778, 10-second penalty to car 83 for causing a collision, and the 83 is Lois Renier. So justice has been dealt out. Justice has been swiftly dealt out because Jimmy Home has been avenged on that with a 10-second penalty there. Unfortunately, it's not going to undo any of the damage that's been done.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But it just gives you that sweet taste of revenge if you're Jimmy Home, that the person who made contact with you has a very difficult penalty to navigate. But glad to see that the stewards are working as hard as we are, because trying to keep track of so many cars, ladies and gentlemen, on the grid, trust me, is a mission and a half as we ride on board with Watson here. Keeping very good following distance here, it's very tricky. We've spoken about this already throughout last season, but trying to follow a car, especially close enough for you to put pressure, is a very tricky thing, because you start to focus more on the car and you miss your own braking points. You kind of lose track of your racing line sometimes. So following this closely, as good as it is to put pressure, puts you under pressure in terms of keeping your lines clean and actually maintaining your race pace. So it's a very crucial skill to learn as a sim racing driver, and obviously as a real life driver, following is very, very crucial in a race with a grid this big.
And they seem to be able to do that so very, very well. I mean, this is obviously something that we see difficult to have in the first race of the season, but given that a lot of these drivers have raced against each other on almost a weekly basis beforehand, it makes it even more enjoyable, I guess, for our viewers at home to watch this awesome action as we see Simone Seminara here in between a rock and a hard place trying to catch on. Oh, contact there from Watson behind, I think that was anyway. Simone Seminara though just going to hold on to that position. Yeah, I'd be taking that and just scooting off up the road on that one. I'd feel a little bit hard done by. That was a little bit of misjudgment there from the fellow BMW in case of Watson. Again, absolutely no malice intended there whatsoever. Just very, very easy to miss your braking point and go straight into the car in front of you. God knows I've done that many, many times. Indeed, Noah Eder leading this little train off just now. Marco Bischoff and Aaron Spansky going backwards at a rate of knots here. Remember, he was in fourth, got himself all the way up to second, then a mistake put him back down to fifth, and now he is in seventh position just now. So it seems like McLaren's starting to come through on this here, pace-wise just now. The Ferrari's getting a little bit of an early lead here. And the one Merc that we've got in the top 10, Luke Whitehead out there in P4. The other thing for me, though, that really, really gets my interest here, Tapello, is Valentin Barrier down in P10. Now, he is the only car in the top 10, in fact, in the top 25, that is driving the Aston Martin, a car that you know, for whatever reason, you just do not see now, and has decided that he is representing Heimo setups here tonight, but you know, doing a decent job there, keeping it in the top 10.
Yeah, very interesting, and I think that's something that gets lost sometimes in sim racing, is that you get one car that's overpowered and kind of everyone flocks towards that car, so you kind of miss the variety on circuit sometimes. So it's always interesting to see someone kind of throw the dice, pick a car that's a bit different. So I'm very interested to see how those Astons go out throughout the whole season. Is that an overtake? I think it is. Of RG there.
It's a melee is what it is, Tapello. It's a battle. It's clubs out at dawn here. Well, sunset, I guess, given that it's 8:46 here. That was a brilliant little fight here. We've been watching this one going on for a wee bit, and Simone Seminara again back into that difficult position just behind Abe Santima. Wants to try and get behind, but you've got a very impatient Watson behind, as well as the 127 car just behind there of Albin Manson. So Jordan Watson and Albin Manson, they look like they want to try and get past very quickly. And then just behind them, you've also got Noel Hackey in a group of what can only be described as 6,000 cars trying to bear down on that 12th position battle. This is awesome stuff, and we're only 15 minutes into the race.
We wanted more drivers. We need to deal with more drivers. That's what we wanted. And unfortunately, I see in the chat as well, Giovanni Porzio just saying he had a glitch on his screen and then he got disconnected. Unfortunate for him to start his season. Or maybe it's a good thing. Get all the bad luck out in the first race so he could be consistent as the season goes by. Unfortunate for Giovanni Porzio there. But alas, we have a hell of a lot of cars on track. So we'll keep our focus on what is happening with all these drivers this evening. Again, how good is it to see race cars with headlights on? I think we missed it last season. Yes, we had it fantastically at Bathurst, but I kind of missed the headlights, you know, the constant flashing for people telling you to kind of hurry up. I love that so much.
Hate it. Absolutely hate it. I love the headlights, I just hate the flashing headlights. It's one of my pet bugbears here. looking at the front though, the gap is kind of stabilised. I mean, it's not really done anything right now. George Boothby still 1.5 seconds ahead of Grantas Caracas. Mikhail Statsenko up into P3. Luke Whitehead's in P4. Noah Eder in P5. So that's your top 5 right now. 15 minutes of the race gone just now. 45 minutes left to go. Remember, one pit stop that the drivers have to do over the course of these 16 minutes here. They're completely free when they want to pick and choose and do that here. But the thing with that is, again, we've not really seen anything in terms of strategy for season 1 here, as we're seeing Marco Schade in that Honda getting mugged there. I believe that is Luke Addison getting his way past there. Kind of got to see that, because I'll be honest, I'm a big fanboy for that Honda, as we cut back to Marco Bischoff onto the back of Noah Eder here, and the two Optimum Motorsport cars maybe looked like they were a little bit closer than they were, but that looked like they were getting a little bit shirty with each other, Sapello.
Yeah, look, I think they kind of held line because they're teammates, but we know how competitive these guys are, and they will be definitely over the season. So yeah, we might see a bit of contact if teammates are close to each other. We will see the kind of forced overtake as well, which is good. Look, I'm not saying endanger your teammate, but you kind of want to give them a challenge as well. No, this is racing, and everyone still has a prize to drive for themselves. So it will be interesting to see how all these drivers who were friends, teammates, go about the season with so many drivers, so many opportunities for you to lose points, to gain points. 12 rounds is a really long time, and with a grid this big, every point, every finish position will count. That's for sure this season.
Oh, for sure. And it's all about, I mean, one of the things that we saw from season 1 is the fact that consistency is so important. Doesn't matter if you take lots of race wins. In fact, what we saw from the championship was, I think the winner ended up taking 5 of the 12 race wins. But it was more about those drop rounds and more about the points that they lost that decided the championship, rather than the points that they won. So again, with there being a drop week in play here, that's what's going to be absolutely crucial in terms of not missing any rounds in this championship here. So again, fingers crossed we have a good attendance through the entirety of the season, through the entirety of the 12 weeks. For just now, all of the drivers firmly focused on the track here at Imola. We're watching Valentin Barrier there in 10th position, fighting to get back in. We're seeing also that Christian Dupois just lost the position to Noah Keke. So that's the battle for 16th as well now. That's going on in the background. We've got Mikhail Statsenko sitting the fastest lap of the race there, but he's still 3.6 seconds behind George Boothby and Grantas Caracas just now. So the sun is firmly starting to set here. You can see that beautiful pink in the sky here in Bologna. That's the world famous Imola circuit, or to give its full and butchered name, as we see Ronaldo Bursma butchering the corner there. I think that is at is that Acqua Minerale, or is that a little bit further on? I think that's Grazzini actually. 14 and 15 at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. There we go. That is the worst Italian pronunciation I think you will ever hear. Oh no! Oh no! We didn't want to see that, and I've got a horrible feeling that was the number 5 car that we've just seen taken out as well. Sorry, that was the 5 we were watching. That was Daniel Gottschalk, who got sent into the wall there. You hate to say it, but again, having had experience of that, so when you get damage on these cars, it can be really bad.
Yeah, it's so difficult to convey to everyone who's watching if you haven't done it. Driving a car with damage just puts all of your skills on red alert, right? If your car's not steering straight, you lose confidence in where you position your car, you lose confidence in braking, you lose speed, obviously. But it's sort of like a cascading effect of confidence dropping. And that's why sometimes what tends to happen is you'll see some drivers, when they get damage at a certain point, they just drop out the race completely, because it makes a difficult situation almost impossible. So it is not nice to pick up damage, especially this early in a race. We still have 40 minutes to go in this race, so that damage will count, and it just makes it so much more difficult to keep pace with the guys in front and to be competitive in a race like this.
Yeah, it really, really is. The other thing I was going to say as well to Pillow is I just caught myself in my reaction to that, and I just noticed it on chat as well. The word that came out of my mouth was "ish." I feel kind of that I'm adopting more and more South Africanisms as we go on. So yeah, I'm getting to all the important words from my partner. So yeah, I feel like I'm starting to belong now.
Yeah, no, look, you'll learn, you'll pick it up. You've got Aish kind of locked down now, so you'll be fantastic. Trust me, I think you will be Aishing way more this season than you did last season, so that's good to see.
I know all about Poiki, Brai, Sutford Poiki. So yeah, I'm pretty much sorted. I think just get a couple of beers now and a Brian, and we're golden. That was the one thing that absolutely caught my eye as we see the mandatory pit window open. So the comment that I made about them being able to choose whenever they want to go into pits, completely null and void, because I completely forgot that there is a 20-minute pit window. So we'll ignore that. But yeah, when I went over to South Africa. September a couple of years ago, the one thing motorsport is Timu Karppinen trying to fight it around the outside, and that was with Sasha Vassner, who is dropping down. It's a rate of knots here. You've got a car going off in the background as well. I think that is just trying to avoid everyone else right now. What I was away to say is, you South Africans, you do motorsport completely different. It is like an obsession over there. I've never seen it where you go to a track and you've got your braais out by the side, and it's a real sort of carnival atmosphere. Everyone's chilling and just enjoying themselves. It's so strange compared to over here in Europe.
Yeah, look, one thing I admire about South Africans is we tend to do everything with our own kind of flavor on top. It's a very interesting thing to see, and I think my first experience of realizing just how different South Africa was during the 2010 World Cup, because we had a lot of international people coming into South Africa, kind of experiencing South Africa for the first time, seeing how different South Africans do everything. And one thing that stood out to them was just how different we celebrate, how different we enjoy, as we see Marco Schade with the overtake there on Nico Hake. Interesting overtake again. Oh, did he get the position back? I think he did. Well, oh no, they went into the pits for the mandatory pit stop. I was about to say we was that other overtake, but yes, South Africans just do everything so much differently. We celebrate differently, we express anger differently. We just have our own spice of life, and it's such a beautiful thing to see. And hopefully, Mr. Christie, you're starting to figure it out that we just run in our own lane here in South Africa.
Listen, I am an absolute convert. I was wearing a box top for the finals of the Rugby World Cup. So yeah, I am one of you now. Whether or not I get accepted into the country is a completely different matter. I don't know if they accept Scottish people, but either way, it's a complete. And the thing is as well is that it goes hand in hand with what the championship, and this is where I was actually going with this rambling conversation, is this whole Kaizen Championship, Kaizen philosophy of helping each other out, and that constant iteration of cycle through, develop and progress. It goes hand in hand, I think, with the South African kind of ethos, because that's exactly what they do. It's that whole thing of you pick yourself up, you try again, and you just keep chipping away until you actually get what you want out of things. And it's I think it's a brilliant championship, and a kind of brilliant bunch of people behind the scenes that are the perfect lot to be running this type of thing.
Yeah, look, definitely that. South Africans just have a different kind of resolve, a different kind of spirit, and we tend to do a lot of things with a smile. And I know for sure, as we look at this battle between Jimmy Holm and is that Hill? Yes, I think it's Hill. Some of these guys will be driving with a smile. They've kind of been going side by side, nose to tail so far in this race, and they've been keeping it clean. As we see down the inside, beautiful move, such control over that car. Again, very tricky to get a car under control as you're braking downhill, but brilliantly done by Jimmy Holm there. fully in control and showing his skills in that Ferrari. As we go back, here's the message from race control. Incident between cars 26 and 97 on lap 1. 5-second time penalty to car 26 for causing a collision. Again, as we keep our eyes on everything that's happening on circuit, the stewards as well are reviewing. They're living the Kaizen principle right now. They're looking at every incident, reviewing, making sure, and giving out penalties. As we have another race control 10-second time penalty to car 69 for causing a collision. Now, very interesting time for these time penalties, because a lot of these guys have not taken their pit stops. So these times will be added to their pit stop, and then we will see how they perform on the second stint after their pits, once they've kind of served their penalty. But again, we're seeing battles all over the circuit, aren't we, David? As we kind of predicted with a grid this big, we will be seeing battles left, right, center, north, south, east, and west.
And the thing is that these are going to be rivalries for the entire season, because once you get into your own pace, once you get into your own lane, you're going to find the people that are on that lane with you and that are going to be fighting throughout the season. So that is going to be epic stuff to watch all these little battles progress throughout the course of the season. Can we get an F in chat, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, for those poor stewards that Tapello was talking about, who are still on lap 1. Oh, we're on lap 2 now. There we go. Right, okay, so we've progressed off of lap 1. Car 7 and 666 there. It's a 5-second penalty to the number 7 car for causing a collision with a 666, and that is going to be Andre Trafka for causing a collision on the 666, which was Christian Fencer on lap 2. 14 minutes left to go in that pit window. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, what we would love you to do is hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We want to have you part of the Genisus Esports family. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you will keep up to date with all of the future events here on the YouTube channel. Right, so while the drivers are going in for their pit stops, and what I'm trying to think as well is, with the pit stops, they have to serve that time penalty anyway. So what happens is they come in and they'll stop for 5 seconds and then they'll do their pit stop. So it still works as a penalty, so it will still slow them down. But the thing is that for me, I would be tempted to kind of let it run as late as possible, because what you're seeing is the likes of Trafka here, he's got a 5-second penalty, but he's realistically only going to lose 3 positions out of that now, because Sasha Vassner is now 5 seconds behind. We've got confirmation there of another penalty being given out, 5:05 and 7:78. It's a 10-second time penalty for the 5:05 for causing a collision, and that is Alexander Kuznetsov that gets that position, who we're watching here for Send Help Motorsports. And I'm afraid you're going to need more than help after that penalty, my friends. He is onto the back there of the number 78 car, and that is Gabriel Oskatzer. But with 12.5 minutes left to go in the pit window here, we're almost, and I mean almost, at the halfway point of our first round here of the second season of Genisus Risk Kaizen Championship. David Christie here with you, with Tapello Marioli in the commentary box as per usual. And we are loving all of the action we are seeing here just now. George Whitby in the lead of the race. Another race control message popping up there, confirming that cars 27 and 25 having a little bit of an oopsie together. It's a 10-second penalty to car 27 for causing a collision. That is Giovanni Porzio, and he was saying, now we did see him in YouTube chat, it was saying that he had a glitch on the his screen that said the start indicator stayed permanently on his screen, and then he disconnected. So it has not been a great race for Giovanni Porzio, it's safe to say. As we go back to Simone Seminara with Luke Addison firmly in tow, the two of these fight it out. So Simone has just got past in that BMW, and I think Luke Addison might have just come out of pit lane. So now what we're seeing is a tale of two races here, as we see that is going to be a yellow flag brought out by Roland Stein in the number 10 car. That's at the bottom of Aqua Minerale, or at the top of Aqua Minerale, and that is an accident that I myself, Tapello, have done many times. A little bit too much speed into the corner, clip the car, and the car just over rotates into the barrier.
It's one of the easiest, as we see an attempt there by Andre Trafka. Yes, it's Aqua Minerale. I think that's why I love that hot. It looks simple, but it's actually very technical in how you need to position your car. As I said, it is fully downhill braking, so it is easy to kind of over-rotate and lose the rear in that section of circuit. So that is very interesting. But you know what, David? We've got 10 minutes of the pit window open, right? And there's a bit of a lag, well, a considerable lag, in how the stewards are reviewing incidents. If they're kind of on lap 2 with their incidents, it goes to show, I think as a racing driver, you might kind of want to delay your pit until the very end and see if you can't take that time penalty if it is to come, because you kind of don't know. There's so many penalties going out. You might want to take your pit as late as possible. So if you get a penalty, you can take the penalty in the pits. And as I'm speaking about penalties, Race Control says, here's another penalty. Talk about 5-second time penalty for car number 83 for causing a collision. So you see what I'm saying? Kind of hold towards the end as you see more cars coming into the pits, the likes of George Boothby, Caracas as well, Statsenko, Bischoff, Tariq Adam, and Apes and Team are all coming into the pits now, kind of the midway point. So I think this is the point where we will see a lot of drivers kind of following each other, trying to keep there or thereabouts in terms of strategy, keeping themselves in check with the drivers around them, and just to don't try and lose pace or don't create an offset with the guys you want to keep pace with. How about that for a tactic, David?
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that I would, if it was me, I would be staying out right now, if only because I'd be getting a nosebleed, because it'd be the highest position that I would ever actually be in the case of the race here, which is what's what happened to the likes of Grantis Caracas here. He is going to go back up into that second position. Race control message though, incident between cars 149 and 325 on lap 2, 5-second time penalty to car 149 for causing a collision. And that is still on lap 2 there. So the 149 gets a time penalty. That is Mikhail Statsenko. Wow, that is huge. So that is going to drop Statsenko back, I think, to 4th position, because there's George Boothby. He's out in P9 just now. So that is, unless that's not been applied yet, I would imagine that has already gone through. But there goes Mikhail Statsenko cut across the grass as well. So that is not going to go down well. That car is vulnerable right now, and here comes Marco Bischoff under real pressure. Mikhail Statsenko, who was looking so comfortable up in the front there, well, this has turned the race on its head as well.
Yeah, I think it's time for that sound clip we cried from Jaws now. I think we need to start playing it as Bischoff comes closer. That is pressure. That is pressure right there. That is pressure. And that's what we're going to see as we hear from our producer that Luke Whitehead and Spansky coming into the pits to serve their mandatory pit stops, as we have 7 minutes and 38 seconds of the pit window left open. But yes, Statsenko looked comfortable. Now he's under pressure. He's got a penalty. He's got Bischoff really close. He cannot afford a mistake. And it's so tricky when you've just taken a pit, because you kind of lose your rhythm a bit. So you're kind of resetting and trying to find your position. So to do that under immense pressure is an undertaking that I am not envious of. And not in this kind of situation, I am glad that I'm not a racer. I am a commentator, because it is very difficult to maintain your composure in a situation like this.
Oh, absolutely. I tend to crumble very quickly. I'm just noticing we've got a car off in the background there, the 705. Philippe Minard is stuck at the exit of the penultimate corner there, down into Rivata, I believe that is. I want to say anyway, but I'll double check for you just now. Either way, right, let's bring you up to speed here, because pit stops have absolutely destroyed the races of some of these drivers here. Krzysztof Muskowski gets a stop-go 30. We've also got Hake with a stop-go 30, and Pooley with a stop-go 30. That is for speeding in the pit lane. You've then got Karppinen with a drive-through penalty, and I've got a feeling that Karppinen's might be self-inflicted. That might have been for track limits. So we'll wait and see how that all goes through. But 23rd position is going to go into the pit lane. My goodness me, this is all starting to change very, very quickly indeed. So now that is actually going to change the top three, because look at that, Grantis Caracas now in the leads. You've then got Noah Ada, George Boothby in the lead, Grantis Caracas in second place. Noah Ada moves up to P3, Luke Whitehead up to P4, and Statsenko is away down now to what looks like about P7 just now, as we've got incident between cars 30 and 40 on lap 3. It's a 10-second time penalty to car 30 for causing a collision. That is Sakari Leitonen currently up in second position just now. If we're only on lap 2 and we're on lap 20 right now for the stewards' inquiries, this is going to be a hectic race here.
Yeah, it's going to be so tricky, because I think we might be looking at a situation where a lot of penalties are going to be applied in sort of like the last 10-15 minutes. So we will see a huge shake-up of positions, a huge shake-up of the ultimate grid at the finish, because a lot of penalties, I think, will be applied at the end of the race. Because, look, like I said, there is a lag, and it's not the steward's fault. It's just what happens in racing, because the race is not going to stop for them to dish out penalties. So it will be interesting to see who gets a penalty in sort of like the last 5 minutes of the race, as the stewards go through the various incidents that have happened on circuit. That's why we love a huge grid. It throws everything. It throws mixes, it throws shocks, horror, everything but the kitchen sink on circuit, and it is amazing to see. And trust me, we are gonna be here throughout the whole season to try and keep track of what's happening. And as we say with the Kaizen philosophy, as we go through the Genisus Esports Kaizen Championship, we will get better at dealing with a large grid like this, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, enjoy it. There's incidents everywhere, there's drama galore, there are penalties, there are battles, there are flashing lights, there are drivers driving nose to tail. Again, abuse those curbs at the Variante Alta, abuse them. That's how you go fast around that chicane.
Sorry, Tapello, but you say abuse those curbs. I'm going to say this, right? Every time I abuse those curbs, I end up in the wall. That is so. I'm not having that at all. As we see a battle on the left-hand side, this is for P7, 8 and 9 just now. Mikhail Statsenko fighting for his life right now, getting overtaken. And that is also, looks like P9 trying to take a move on there as well. Marco Bischoff, Adam Spansky all knocking boots right here just now as they go down in towards turn 2. This is getting very, very messy indeed. Spansky goes on the inside there, and that was always going to happen. Statsenko closes the door there, and I'll be honest with you, Tapello, he's very, very lucky that he didn't exit stage right there.
Yeah, definitely, because you do not want contact on the rear three-quarter panel of your car in that kind of corner, because you will exit stage right very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, and it becomes very difficult to recover from that kind of contact in that situation. But all's fair in love and war, and that was a bit of a love touch, but they live to fight another lap, as we see Statsenko again in front of Cody Shart. Cody Shart looking close again. And maybe that's something that's going to come with the experience of the season, seeing how different drivers kind of navigate traffic incidents and kind of nudges like that, is just to find your place and just to see how well you navigate different kind of drivers, different kind of incidents, as we see position 24, Lois Rainier looking under pressure. Did they hold the position as they cross the trees? It's all about a good exit coming out of what is this? I think this is Tosa. Yes, 7 going up into 8. Are they looking comfortable? I think they've got the pace to kind of stay ahead, but it's all about maintaining that pace, because this kind of pressure makes you make mistakes on a circuit like this. As we see Roland Steyn struggling with that car, we've seen him off track multiple times. I think it's in my ear coming from the producer. It was just him creating space, moving away for the faster cars, not trying to be a disturbance. We spoke about it again last season, David, that it's also a very critical skill to learn, especially if you're off the pace and you're kind of finding your world, your foot and your pace in the world of sim racing, how to move for faster cars without jeopardizing your own race and their race as well.
Pello, P5, Luke Whitehead gets a drive-through penalty. That is absolutely monumental. Luke Whitehead, who was a core title contender last season, scuppers his opening round of the championship. That's almost certainly going to take him outside the top 10 there. That is almost certainly, I would imagine, for track limits as well. So huge penalty getting given out there, and we'll wait to see how that gets served just now. But we're watching Sasha Vaster here on the inside, trying to take a move up the inside of Tosa there. Gets the move done on that number 25 car, and that was as cool and as calm as you like up into P20. Sakari Lehtinen finally jumps into pit lane. 30 seconds left to go on the pit window there, but that was a really nice move from Sasha Vassar on Dennis Feet Short for P20. And there in the background, just poised, waiting to go, is Andrei Pravka, waiting to try and take that position. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got 20 minutes left to go in this opening round of Season 2 of the Genisus Risk Kaizen Championship. Remember, we want you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and get involved in chat. We want to pick 2 people at random tonight to get a Coach Dave Delta 1 month subscription just for being here. Also, 2 drivers that complete 80% of the race tonight will be chosen to get one of those subscriptions as well. Huge thank you to Coach Dave Academy for partnering up with us here at the Genisus Risk Kaizen Championship and offering drivers the fantastic opportunity to experience that brand new service from Coach Dave Academy. But 20 minutes left to go, and it is still George Boothby, 1:39.875 last time by, and that gap is at 6 seconds. He's not getting caught. I can't see here. Tapello and Grantis Caracas, I don't think, has anything in the tank.
Yeah, I think it's all about confidence for George Boothby now. I think that's what's pushing him so well, and we saw it last season as well. We spoke about this, just how to position yourself against competition. Opening up that gap just allows you to relax. Don't drive at 10-10s. You're not slowing down, but you just take everything with a bit of a calmer heart rate. You just think better because you can open that gap and you relax, you ease the pressure on yourself. Because what usually tends to happen, and this happens fairly often in sim racing, is even a guy that's in front starts to panic when they have cars near them. So having that kind of gap just allows you to relax, and more often than not, when you relax, you tend to drive naturally faster. So the gap only gets bigger because there's less pressure on you.
That is exactly the case, and the pressure will build up so very quickly. We saw that all the way through Season 1, not just in the actual races, but also through in the course of the championship as well, as there's confirmation of that drive-through penalty there for Luke Whitehead in P4. That is going to promote pretty much everyone up to, I think, maybe Simone Seminara down in 13th position, up a position. That means that Notader is safe in his podium, or at least should be safe. He's still got Adam Spansky 2 seconds behind him when all this is said and done. Marco Bischoff will be moving up into P5. But again, I'm just looking at this drive-through for Luke, and we spoke about Season 1 here, Tapello. We spoke about the huge importance of those drop rounds and those missed weeks where you weren't getting in the top 5. That was the difference, and that was what settled the championship. And it's only round 1 of a 12-round championship, but it's already, you were just mentioned pressure there. That's some pressure for Luke Whitehead.
Yeah, and it's such an unfortunate way to start the season by adding onto the pressure that already exists. Like you've already pointed out, he was a strong title contender last season, and unfortunately that's what reputation does, is that every race that you go into now, we're kind of expecting you to do something, be at the front, kind of be competitive all the time. So when you start out, look, he's in a comfortable position, P4, but that penalty just changes everything, and it puts so much more pressure in the subsequent races to follow for him to be more consistent, and that will result in him overdriving as he finally gets into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. This is heartbreaking because I feel like, yes, you're going to the pit lane limits, but it feels so much slower because everyone is driving at full chat just beside you on circuit. This will hurt, this will be painful, but that's racing, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, such a sad sight as we look from the helicopter view there. He's losing positions, falling down. I'm glad I'm commentating again one more time. Glad I'm the commentator and not the racer in this situation.
P20. That's where Luke is going to end. P21. My God, how the mighty have fallen. It is only one race. I mean, let's we have to kind of preface with that, but. Yeah, well, just behind, we've got some cracking little fighting going on here because you've got Christian Fenter, who's getting a little bit of love in the YouTube chat earlier on. He is side by side with one of his compatriots. That was absolutely stunning. Lois Renier left with his mouth gaping open after that one. Christian Fenter just saw the opportunity, sent it, and says thank you very much. And realistically, that car looks like it's the much faster one out of the two of them. But he is going to have to get a move on. 12 seconds, realistically, is not going to get caught up to Luke Whitehead behind. He's going to have to make sure that Renier doesn't have an opportunity to catch back up. Meanwhile, at the front of the field then, as we said, with just 15 minutes left to go in the opening round of the Season 2 here of the Genisus Risk Kaizen Championship, George Boothby still ahead of Grantas Caracas, 6.5 seconds. That got up to 7.4. The lap time from Boothby is just ridiculous. It's like 139, 139, 139. It's like a metronome. Caracas doesn't have that kind of metronomic pace. Neither does Noah Eder, and Adam Spansky in that fourth position with Marco Bischoff now up into P5 as well. Valentin Barriero is onto the back of Tariq Adam now. That is a net position gain for Tariq Adam as a result of that here. But he's going to have to go some if he's going to defend himself here from Valentin Barry. Now, you were mentioning about that Jaws music here. I think we need to get that queued up again.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also something that we pointed out at the beginning of this race, is that Valentin Barry is in a car that we haven't seen much of so far. Last season, the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. It is looking like a competitive car. It is looking solid. It looks balanced. So I think it will be a car to keep an eye out for. Like I said, there's not a lot of them on the grid, but some races will kind of suit that front-engined rear drive setup. So looking competitive, and if he can get it well, looks like there's a few incidents, a bit of a concertina effect there as they go over the chicane. But that's how you want to do it. You want to keep close enough that you can see things happen, but you want to be a bit behind so you can avoid the incidents as they happen, as they go down into turn 17. Just giving them space there. Let's see how they exit Ravata. Very crucial exit here, as it is all flat up until you reach turn 2 at the Tamburello chicane. And Valentin Barry is very close to Tariq Adam, very close. I think we could see a move going down into turn 2 here, as we see race control, a 10-second time penalty for car 40 for causing a collision on lap 21. Tariq Adam defends superbly, something he was very good at last season. We saw him, just the way he positions his car going into a corner, as we see Daniel Gottschalk off the track. And where do you rejoin? You'd also want to rejoin safely without risking a penalty. Bad incident for him there. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see, is it, Tapello? I mean, the fact is, you've had a big accident like that. You see the traffic streaming past. You want to try and minimise the damage, but the worst thing you can do is put your foot down and get back into traffic. Gottschalk did absolutely the right thing there. Just kept his composure, kept his foot on the brake, decided to try and move the car and angle it at a much better angle so he wasn't joining across the track, and then waited for a decent position to do so. So hats off to him there. Meanwhile, we've seen Mikhail Statsenko on the right-hand side here. This is the fight for 5th and 6th position. He's got Marco Bischoff just on the inside. So this is the same battle that you've seen for 2 different angles here. So you're seeing that, Adam Spansky is just a little bit further forward. You can see all the cars in the shot there, but actually Adam Spansky is chasing down Noah Eder, which is just in front, and then you've got Marco Bischoff with Mikhail Statsenko. So apologies for the confusion there. This is as they try and get through lap traffic here, but Spansky desperately wants to try and take that 3rd position here. And Tapello, with just 10 minutes left to go, I always ask this question: at what point do you think the drivers think, right, enough is enough, I'll take the position I've got here? But if you're Noah Eder or the likes of Mikhail Statsenko, you fight until the very last moment.
Yeah, you know what often tends to decide when you kind of hold position is how things develop on circuit. So if you look at these kind of incidents, you look at these kind of positions, Spansky is within 3/10 of Ada in front of him. That's the kind of gap that doesn't tell you to relax. It's the kind of gap that kind of prompts you to keep on going. So if the situation is like that, you'll hardly ever see drivers relax, hold position. They will go for the move. As long as the race is on, as long as there's a car in front of them, they will keep pushing. So in such a situation, I've seen it multiple times. I've done it multiple times. You just don't relax. You tell yourself there's 10 minutes. That means it's 10 minutes of pushing and trying to get the position. Because like you said, with a bigger grid, every finish, every points position becomes so much more crucial in a season like this. So I think you will see these battles go on until the end, and the checkered flag is dropped for this race.
Certainly is, and there's not going to be too long, ladies and gentlemen, to see for that, but we have got two cracking battles, and you're not going to want the action to end. And certainly if you're Spansky or you are Stasenko, you definitely don't want the action to end, because you want to find a way past very, very quickly indeed. The question is where and when for Spansky. Where is he going to try and make his move? A couple of drivers also making moves up into the top 10. Abe Santima finally gets his way into the top 10 after the demise there of Luke Whitehead, who has got himself back into the top 20. Also seen Luke Harrison in P13 and Christian Duploy in 15th position, as well as we're watching the battle for third coming through Tulsa. With just under 10 minutes left to go, your race leader though is coming up through towards the right-hander at Aqua Minerale. They'll be coming up to Grassini as well very, very shortly indeed. And with this, it now means that we have got just about 7 laps, maybe 6 laps left to go in this race. But again, Tapello, you get the impression here with Spansky, he really, really does want to make this work here. As Christian Romano facing the wrong way, and that is the fact that we cut to Jimmy Holm first makes me very, very nervous. I'll be honest with you, I get the horrible feeling that Jimmy Holm might have been involved in that one. We'll have to wait for a replay here. We've got, who's that just in front of him? Is that Christian Fenter? It is. So Holm is absolutely tearing this up right now. He is pushing so hard, and may very well be on to get himself up into P22 just now, but we'll wait and see. 8.5 minutes left to go as they come through the left-hander at Piratella, then right onto the tail end of that McLaren. Here comes the homing missile. Is it target locked? Is it target acquired? Through into Aqua Minerale. No, he's decided to fire off the chaff just now, and decided to go again a little bit later on, possibly through Grassini and on the exit into Ravazza. But 8 minutes left to go here. We're rattling down the time very, very quickly. I think the top 3 potentially is settled, potentially, but not if Adam Spansky has anything to say about it.
Yeah, look, for sure. And we're seeing battles galore as we see Statenko finally trying to go for that position. It's very tricky. It's very tricky to get your position. Bischoff holding fairly well with the inside line. Again, it's all about that exit on a corner like Tosa, because it is a high traction. It's a very tricky traction zone. You do not want to lose the rear as they head down into Aqua Minerale. Best thing to do here is to kind of lean back a bit and then try and attack on the exit. As you can see, Statenko with actually a very good exit to try and get himself that close to Bischoff. Let's see how they go through the Variante Alta. It's a bit wide from Bischoff. Will he be able to hold that position? I don't think that should be that big an issue with the stewards, but yes, 7 minutes to go, a lot of positions up for grabs, and that's why you're seeing these battles dive down the inside. No things better of it there by Stutsenko. Let's see how they get the exit out of Ravazza. Very crucial exit, we've mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, onto the longest straight on the circuit. Bit of a gap, so he had to compromise his line there to break in, to avoid contact. So he will kind of have to set up the move again over half a lap or a whole lap just to get closer again and put more pressure on Bischoff. But that is racing, and with 6.5 minutes to go, it's kind of getting to that situation or that territory of now or never, because you kind of want to get in front and then you want to extend your gap so you can hold position. As we see here, Jordan Watson in P11 going for position as we drop again to the battle for P13 between Luke Addison and Manson. Another battle. See, ladies and gentlemen, everyone wants to finish as high as they can, and it's all about pushing and trying to get ahead. Again, 6 minutes to go, now or never. David, what would you be doing if you were in this kind of situation? Do you hold? Do you push? Do you give it everything?
You have to give it everything to Pello at that point, because you've got all these drivers behind you who are quite obviously not playing the same game of, yeah, okay, 10 minutes to go, that's it, we'll just cruise and take cars home now. It's not like that at all here, as we see Alexander Kuznetsov moving out the way to let some leading traffic through here. It's not like that. He goes round and ends up losing out position to one of the, I think that was one of the Astons there that ended up losing out to. You hate to say it, but yeah, you just have to keep pushing. You've got 5 minutes, you've got too many cars around you that are wanting to take that position and quite literally have your head on a pike here as Jordan Watson gets his way past Abe Santima for that final position in the top 10 there with 5 minutes left to go. And there's the answer to your question. When do you sort of give up? Never. All these drivers here are absolutely going for it. We've got 3 massive fights going on right now for 10th position, for 3rd and 4th position, and also for 5th and 6th position as well, as Abe Santima tries to get his way back round the outside at turn 2 here, but that's never ever going to work. More interestingly, I think Statsenko and Bischoff is going to come to blows again very, very quickly. And here we are coming out of the exit of Tosa then. So Statsenko has the bumper full of that McLaren right now of Marco Bischoff. He's trying everything that he can think of, but it's just not able to do it. They come through Pinatelli here. I honestly don't know, Tapella, what else Mikhail Statsenko can do here.
I told you this last season, there is one thing you can do, but the stewards will not work in this kind of situation.
A boot. Is that what you're intending?
Yeah, it's a bit of a love touch, if you want to call it that. But yeah, very interesting racing. Look, if this is the kind of curtain raiser for the rest of the season, we are in for a grand season, because these drivers are pushing and they're making sure that they are being noticed by kind of staking their claim. Is there a move down the inside? Thinks better of it one more time. No, they're following on down the inside. Statsenko is past Bischoff there, kind of holding his position, putting his elbows out. Very, very aggressive move, but I think that is legal in this kind of race, ladies and gentlemen. So again, we asked, when do you go for the move? Is it even worth going for the move? All the drivers are responding, yes, definitely. You go for any move that presents itself. As we follow on with Spansky, who is fighting for a position, podium position behind Eda, putting him under immense pressure. So far we see as they head into Tosa, it's all about the exit again here. It's a very tricky exit because you need to get on the power early, because it's an uphill climb after the exit as you head into turn 8, and here they are into Peretia turn 9. A very cheeky left hand, because it's all about momentum. You want to hold that momentum as they go down into turn 11, 12 and 13. Aqua Minerale, very tricky part of the circuit. It's all looking good. Eda's keeping that car between the lines, looking solid, just driving. I don't want to jinx him, because we know the curse of the commentator, but just driving in a calm manner that allows him to defend by not having to drive erratically, but just placing the car where it needs to be. But it looks like Spansky had a good exit coming out of Variante Alta. Let's see as they head into turn 16 and down into Ravata turn 17 and 18. Yes, Ada compromised his line by going defensive there into turn 17 and out of 18. Let's see, it's all about the exit as they head into the longer straight on the circuit. Spansky should be looking for an overtake as they get towards turn 2, because he's fully within the slipstream. And let's see how Ada will defend this. He's already kind of chosen the left line, second last lap, ladies and gentlemen, going out to the outside, looking for a spot. Did he force Ada to compromise his line? Let's see. Yes, he did. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. That is pressure.
Oh, Sapello, that was absolutely golden from Adam Spansky. Lined that up, took the shot, and absolutely sent that. Here comes Luke Addison again onto the back of Simone Seminara. The pressure building for this battle for P12 as well. It's do or die right now because you've also got the likes of the 127 just behind him. That is Albin Manson who's trying to get a go here. This is the second to last lap, we've just been told, from race control. And again, here we go then. Luke Addison still in that rock and a hard place here. I'm also very interested to see what is going to happen then with Noah Eder, because it looks like Eder's got that position back. He's showing us 1/10 of a second ahead of Spansky. So somehow Spansky is back down to 4th position. How the hell has that happened? Half a minute left to go. That is incredible, incredible fighting there from Noah Eder. And look at how furious Adam Spansky is. He's determined to have this position. They're on the exit of Grosini. It's on the run down to Ravazza for the second to last time. Spansky goes round. We've got the final lap. The white flag is out for George Boothby. So here we go then. This is going to be an absolutely stellar final lap between Adam Spansky and Noah Eder here at Imola. Incredible, incredible stuff. And Noah Eder has the run.
Yeah, and that's brilliant. Unfortunately, we didn't see the kind of comeback and him getting that overtake, but that's what it's all about in racing. You never give up a position. And if you get overtaken, the best time to go for the kind of revenge overtake and get your position back is just after the overtake. So brilliant driving by Noah Eder there to get himself back into the podium position and kind of make a statement piece, show that he's confident enough to kind of defend and attack again. As we see them, the battle is still going on, and it is hot, ladies and gentlemen. Last lap, and people are still fighting for positions, trying to maximize points and finishing positions. George Boothby's just run away. We've forgotten about him. We'll see him as he crosses the line, but our attention is not on him. Have fun, well done. We'll talk to you in the interviews, but the battle right now is for that last podium position between Noah Eder and excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. It's still so close, David. It's still so close. I think we'll be looking at a possible move heading down into Ravazza turn 17 and 18 between Spansky and Eder. Let's see.
I think you're right.
It's still close.
I think you're right, Sapello. I think you're right. He's got the run out of Grosini as George Boothby comes across the line. You can understand why we have to cut away. There goes Spansky then to the outside of Ravazza, but then surely there's going to be a cut back to the inside. It's then going to be a move to the side by side. There's always going to be contact, but it's a power slide round the outside, and it's still going to be Noah Eder that holds on. Grantis Caracas takes 2nd place. What absolute bravery from Noah Eder to take 3rd place. Adam Spansky being to the line in 4th position. Mikhail Statsenko in 5th. Marco Bischoff in 6th position. Cody Sherritt, Tariq Adam, Valentin Barrier as Bischoff decides to celebrate by writing off £250,000 worth of damage. So there you go, John. It's Watson in 10th position there, Jordan Watson. That run to the line though, separated by just 9/100ths of a second. I mean, obviously we had to cut away for George Boothby taking the race win. Grant Caracas taking 2nd place there. Luke Whitehead doing a handbrake turn, a J-turn across the line. Wow, I mean, what the hell do you say to that entertaining race? I mean, Bieberstein said exactly that. Damn, son, very entertaining.
And breathe. I told you there would be a move going down into turn 17 and 18. It was brilliant driving just to hold that car from Noah Eder. As we saw that big oversteer moment, he held that power slide fairly brilliantly to make it around that corner, driving at its peak of his powers there. Ladies and gentlemen, what a finish to actually a very interesting race, and what a start to the season this year. 2024 looks like it is coming with a banger of racing, with all these drivers looking to maximize and finish as high up the grid as they can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What a performance that was. What a fantastic event there. I enjoyed every single moment of that. My goodness me, that was just awesome fun. So we'll wait to get the drivers in for their mandatory, I would say, usually, the their obligatory post-race interview because we want to hear from them, and we want to see exactly what they have to say on everything that's going on just now. A huge thank you as always to our stewards, who did an amazing job keeping up with all of the crazy action on there. And a huge thank you as well to everyone at home for watching tonight, because we hope you certainly enjoyed as much as we did. So behind the scenes, a couple of things we've got to get done. We've got a draw that we've got to take place to see which two drivers. I believe it is 38 drivers that qualify for our random draw, which is to win a month of Coach Dave Delta, the brand new subscription-based service from Coach Dave Academy. Definitely worth checking out, so we'll bring you that as soon as we can. I will also bring you a driver's chat with some of your race-winning drivers. We've got George Boothby, who is in the waiting room, waiting to have a chat with us, so we'll bring him into the room as soon as we possibly can. I tried moving them and I can't do it either. No Aiders in there as well. We'll bring them in as soon as we possibly can. But Tapello, just how do we even pick apart that race there?
It's so difficult, right? Because there was action everywhere. There were battles everywhere. There are a lot of penalties. There are a lot of incidents. And I think how to make sense of that kind of race is to look at the race as a whole. You kind of need to remove yourself from the different kind of battles we saw on track. That's the beauty of such a championship, that you see everything happening. But I think we're finally ready for the interview with the race winner, George Boothby. Mr. Christie, take it away.
Thank you very much, Tapello. Well, George Boothby, it was that was a wild return to everything here, winning by around about 7.5, 8 seconds there. Just another quiet night of the races for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of decided to change car. I thought I'd do Ferrari because they did well for me in SRO last year, and it's been quite a decision because when I finished that championship, I was like, I'm never driving this again. Never driving it again. And I don't know, I guess chat convinced me a little bit to change car, and I drove it a bit and I thought, all right, we'll try it. And I've been really trying to decide these last 2 days, and yeah, we did it. We chose Ferrari, and I guess it's working because that was sick. I can't remember last time I've had a race where it, like, everything just happened how I wanted it, right? You know, there was no, like, issues. Like, normally I do a race where, like, I'll be good in quali, my race pace will suck, or I'll qualify bad and I'm into recovery drive. So yeah, to actually have a race where it's just like everything went to plan, I was so happy. Like, I put in a lot of work for it and I got the results. So yeah, super stoked with that result, man.
Often do those races happen for yourself, George? Because obviously, you know, like we saw with Luke Whitehead and some of the other drivers tonight, getting caught up, drivers that we would expect to be fighting for the top 5 and then get caught up in incidents and drive through penalties and things like that. It must be a hell of a relief to kind of wipe that sweat from your brow and think, yeah, actually that was fine tonight.
Yeah, it was hard at first because, you know, I did have Grantis on me for quite a while. I think Misha and Grantis had a coming together or something. I can't remember, but you know, for the first at least 10 laps or so, there was a car like in my mirrors. But I just focused. The Ferrari here, obviously, it's quick. Like we've just seen how quick it is, but it's probably one of the hardest cars to drive at this track, just because it bounces on the curbs really bad at times. You got to really, really know what you're doing to not have any issues, and you know, that's always in the back of your mind. But I managed to. I don't think I had really any issues in the whole race. Like, it was so consistent, and that's what helped pull the gap, because Grantis was really quick, but it was just like one mistake on the chicane, one mistake here, running wide here, and it just drops you back so much. And then you get into that rhythm of, okay, I need to do this different, and you're thinking about one corner, and then the next corner something goes wrong. And yeah, it is one of those tracks where you'll see those drive-through penalties come up like so many of the times, because, like I say, it's just, you go off rhythm, it's over. But yeah, managed to keep it going. Thankfully, the pressure from behind sort of went away near this, after about 10 or 12 laps, and yeah, just brought it home, and yeah, really happy.
You pretty much summed it up perfectly there, George. Congratulations. Is there anybody you want to thank for tonight?
Yeah, obviously like Veloce, the team, and that. Misha, who was in that race, that Senko, we were working on the setup a little bit together, so shout outs to him. And obviously all the viewers watching at home, like you guys, and the Twitch chat for keeping me entertained and having some good chats and keeping me focused throughout that race.
Excellent stuff. Well, George Boothby, congratulations. The first of what I'm imagining is going to be many times we speak to you this season. Enjoy, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. Right, take care.
Take care then. So there we go, George Boothby then having a quick chat with us. And next up is going to be Grantis Caracas and Tapelo. I think we do it differently this season. I think we'll switch it up and do it driver about. So why don't you have a chat with Grantis?
Fantastic. Grantis, fantastic race. We kind of forget about the guys in the front because you guys are so good at being consistent. But how does that feel for you? First race of the season and you're already on the podium.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was kind of a fine race. Obviously, it was a big gap to George P1, but it was just because like this track is like so difficult. It's one of the most difficult tracks and in the game, and keeping it consistent is really hard, especially when there's like you can get warnings really easily. So I had like 3 warnings after like 20 minutes for the race. So after that, I just really had to be really careful, especially in the last sector where there are all these chicanes and stuff. So yeah, I was so much slower after that, but yeah, I'm still happy with my pace. I still pulled away from the guys behind. They were fighting quite a lot as well and had some problems, more problems than me. So yeah, I'm really happy with my performance and hopefully it's be even better for the next round.
Yeah, I think you looked impressive. You kind of made a statement on how to start a season, and I think you can only get better as the season wears on. But let me ask this to you: how difficult is it to come into a new championship, new drivers, everything is kind of new, but you guys are so experienced. How do you manage that first race of the season?
Yeah, well, obviously, you always gotta practice a lot, no matter what championship it is. And obviously it doesn't matter which championship it is, you just gotta practice a lot and focus a lot, like, just keep your focus and basically on every single championship. So yeah, you just basically commit and drive as consistently as possible in the race, as focused as possible.
I love that answer. It's all about consistency and practice and putting in the time. Dare I ask, are you confident heading into the second race now that you've been putting the work and we can see you've already finished P2? Are you confident heading into the next race?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Obviously, there's a track that I'm not really great at it, so obviously need to practice quite a lot. Also, I don't know if I'll be driving next round. There are some few things going on for me next week, so we'll see if I'm busy or not. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to race, and yeah, we'll see. We'll try to practice a lot again and get a good result again.
Well, I'll definitely be here wanting to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, your runner-up P2 in the first race of the season, Grantis Caracas. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.
Excellent stuff. Well, there we go. So one more person to speak to, Noah Ader, who is going to get brought in here for an amazing third position. Noah Ader, firstly, congratulations on the third place. That was an epic battle towards the end there with Adam Spansky. How the hell did you manage to hold on to that?
I don't know. From like minute 47 or something like that on, I had 3 warnings, so I was struggling the whole race, and at the end I had some no time gains, so I was like, I don't want to have a DT, but I would like to keep the third position, so it was really hard, but yeah, great stuff from Adam there as well, because it was really clean and hard fight.
So talk us through that race then, because obviously that was towards the end of it, but through the opening sort of half an hour just before the pit stops, how was that race?
There was my teammate was behind me and I was behind Luke, and I don't know, Luke was a bit struggling, so I decided to do a lap earlier, go into the pits. And then my pit stop was perfect. And then I overtook Statsenko because he had like 5 seconds. And Whitehead, I was able to overtake him as well. So then from then on, Whitehead also had a DT, so it was a little less pressure for me. But then Adam was really quick, and yeah, he was gaining time on me. And then at the end, he was right behind me. And at some point in front of me.
Awesome stuff. Well, listen, Noah, we were absolutely spellbound at that fight towards the end there. Is there anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, thanks, because everything was great. Really, it's my first race in this cup. And yeah, it's really a good preparation for tomorrow. And it was really fun. So yeah, good stuff. And thanks.
Awesome. Well, great start to the championship. Congratulations, Noah, and hopefully we'll speak to you again next week.
Yeah, thanks. See you.
Excellent stuff. Right, okay, so there we go. Noah Ader in third place. That concludes our driver interviews. Now all that's left is to do some giveaways. Now, first off, we mentioned about giveaways to chat. So what we want to do is we want to get that going. So we want to get everybody who's eligible in. So before you go, don't go anywhere. If you want to grab yourself a chance at getting a coupon for a discount at a 3-month Coach Dave Delta sub, then all you have to do is in chat right now. Yes, you, I'm talking to you. Type in Kaizen. That's all you have to do. Type in Kaizen in chat, in YouTube, and you will get yourself eligible in while we do the driver giveaways just now. So as we said, 2 drivers are eligible for the 1-month sub to Coach Dave Delta. Now, future weeks, we will be drawing this live on stream, so you'll see a nice pretty graphic and it'll look very, very nice indeed. But for just now, we're going to pick it behind the scenes and press a random button to find out who our driver is that's going to be. I'm a bit gutted though, Tapello, that we're not eligible to win this, as I'm seeing lots of Kaizens coming in the chat. That's right. Yeah, keep them coming in, everyone. So yeah, Tapello, we're not eligible for this. That sucks. My esports career is over.
Well, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I might be in there with the pseudonym, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh wait,
Just
hang
be
on. No,
aware
if we're doing that,
then
I'll go and take it. I'll be right back.
No, it's all right. It's all right. They don't love us winning these prizes, but it's okay. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, we certainly will. So while that is going on at the moment, we're just waiting to see behind the scenes. We're getting all that sorted out. We're also getting some drivers sorted out for the driver giveaway. First one is going to be David Hill. Congratulations to David Hill, the number 555 car. For being the first of our giveaway winners. He was the McLaren 720S GT3 Evo driver and finished in P34. So congratulations to David Hill. This is exciting, this Tapello. It's like live TV, getting something whispered into your ears and going with it live. Second winner is going to be Marco Bischoff, the 717 driver. Gets it and drive another. Hang on a minute, I'm wondering here. That's a second McLaren 720S Evo driver that has been given away. Right. Okay. Well, congratulations to you two, David Hill and Marco Bischoff. And what I love is that they're still sorting things out behind the scenes for the chat giveaway. But Tapello, I think Marco and David will be very happy with that.
Yes, most definitely. And look, it's an awesome prize. I've actually read what it's about. So the Coach David Delta is a subscription, and what it does is it's sort of like your own personal coach. It will keep track of all your race wins, all your race times and sector times, and you can kind of develop. So it goes into hand in hand with this Kaizen Championship of continuous development. So this kind of 1 month subscription will work very well for them. As I see, ladies and gentlemen, we now have the winners for the subscription from the chat that have been announced, and it is Beamerstein and Menro, ladies and gentlemen, your winners from the chat, they are eligible and they have just won themselves a 1-month subscription to the Coach David Delta subscription service. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Use it well, watch yourself improve.
Awesome stuff. So there we go. We'll get that all sorted out for yourselves, Beamerstein and Menro. Congratulations. Right. Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We got there eventually. Round 1, we wanted to bring some new things in. We got there, and that's it, done and dusted. Season 2 has got underway. We are going to be back at the same time next week with more absolute madness. If this is anything to go by, this is going to be an awesome, awesome championship, although we knew it was going to be anyway. Mazzano, one of my favourite tracks. Absolutely love that. Next week, we are back for round 2, another 60-minute race here at the Genisus Risk Kaizen Championship Season 2. But, as I said, that is all for us tonight. I've been David Christie. Joining me in the commentary box, it's been a huge thank you to have Tapelo Merioli joining me here in the commentary box. We will be back with you next week at the same time. A huge thank you to our broadcast production team and everyone behind the scenes at Genisus Risk and Genisus Esports as well. And a huge thank you to you at home for watching. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. We go racing. Luke Whitehead lights it up. Tariq Adam is going to take the green flag and send them all down to Hill Corner. But here we go. This is the action. We will side by side. A little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a clip of his teammate there. This is through the dipper, and that, I think, is one of the Genisus cars going straight into the wall